Alright, we're going to take a little side trip today. Got here a 6 horsepower Witte diesel electric engine from a Witte diesel electric generating set. Unfortunately, I only have the engine, not the generator or the sub base, but still going to be cool nonetheless. What we're going to try to do with this engine is get it running for Jacktown this weekend. I have less than a week before Jacktown and lots of stuff to do, but we're going to see if we can get this thing running. I built this little cart for it a couple weeks ago just to move it around, but I want to see if we can get it running. It's really low on compression, and I can hear it blowing by through the intake here and the exhaust down here. Cranking it over by hand, I just get couple puffs of white smoke, but the white smoke comes out both the intake and the exhaust at the same time, so you can really hear. Let's see. Hear that? Yeah. Them valves need to be done. You can see all the coke that's up in there. This is the intake port too. But no big deal. We got the valve grinder over there if we need it. So I'm gonna pop the head off and show you what it looks like under there. Alright, let's pull the head off. Get that out of the way. Get a look in there. Flashlight. Cylinder. My injector nozzle right there. Rotate the flywheels. Bring the piston all the way up. Oh, you see that? The injector just fired. Let's see if I can do that again. Ready? Ha! Look at that. Let's do that again. I thought I had the rack all the way down. Let's see. Yeah. Spray don't look very good. Maybe I'll pull that injector apart and clean the nozzle. Alright, let's get a look at the head. Inlet and exhaust. Alright, I'm going to pull these valves out and show you what they look like. Alright, let's have a look at this Witte head. Cut the valve springs off. So here's the exhaust valve and the intake valve spring over there. Yeah, you can see we've got a old braze repair on the head. Looks like they didn't complete the whole thing. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Yeah, it's not that bad. But I had to clean up the exhaust valve stem a little bit with a file just to slide it out. You can see the exhaust valve does have quite a bit of slop in it. Intake valves Nothing at all. Almost new. But exhaust valve's got some slop. So take them out, have a look at our intake. A little bit coked up. See the seat. That's not pigment, that's just oil. Yeah. There we go. Not bad, not bad. The valve doesn't feel worn at all. This might, well, I'm pretty sure this is a replacement valve, and I'll tell you why later. It's I believe it's a Witte valve, just not the original. And it was a replacement part. Valve seat for the intake. Let's see. Looks alright. The valve ports, of course, all coked up. Slip out the exhaust. Exhaust valve, right off the bat, definitely some wear there in the exhaust valve face. The seats, the face is pretty tarnished and not pitted though, so good valve to work with. Let's set that over here. And the exhaust valve seat, again, just all tarnished and coked up. Can't even see any clean metal there. A little bit. Looks like a tiny bit of pitting there, maybe. Nothing that can't be cleaned up. But my flashlight again, and I'll show you better what the ports look like. You can see all that in there. Been leaking a while. So let me show you what I got with this engine. I got some spare parts. Alright, well here's the box of spare parts I got with this Witte engine. This is just like I got them in this old homemade box here. Got a piston, used. I don't know, I haven't measured it or anything. I don't know if it's out of spec or whatever it was taken out of service. Got a piston with one ring in it, and the rest of the rings are in here. Got exhaust or valve springs. I believe they're the same. So 2 valve springs, probably used. Got 1 rocker arm. Got a piston ring. A couple of used head gaskets. Let's see here. Sorry. Oops. That's important. Mount for the rockers. Got, let's see, 1 horribly worn valve guide. That one's actually broken. I didn't even notice that. And the rest of the rings. 1 insanely worn valve. Look at that. See that? Jesus. Inlet. 1, I believe, brand new Witte exhaust valve and guide. Look at that valve. Just dirty from sitting, but look at that. I think that's brand new right there. It's stuck in the guide, probably just from sitting. Put a little bit of PB blaster down there, probably free right up. Right down that oil hole. I bet you that's brand new. Let's see. 1 injector nozzle. Stuck. I believe it's used. Got some damage right there. Maybe that's why this piston was replaced. I don't know. because the nozzle sits right here. Sprays. Little box for it. And the replacement, American Bosch. No part number though. Both end flaps are gone. But anyway, I think this, they wanted to kind of rebuild this engine, so they got a new piston at the time. New piston rings, valves, but for some reason they decided not to install the exhaust valve. Remember, in this head, currently, the intake valve is like brand new. The exhaust valve is a little bit worn. Now, I have possibly the original intake valve right here, and the original intake valve guide right here. So this could be the original setup. That'd be this one here. This would be the intake. So they replaced the intake at one point. Right here. They replaced this one. Nice and tight. And here's the old one. Now that when they bought the replacement intake, I guess they also bought replacement exhaust valve and guide, but they didn't install it. So I've got a brand new, old stock, Witte exhaust valve and guide for this engine. So I'm very pleased with that. I might just install that. I'm not sure. I'll have to clean it all up and see what the wear is really like. If it runs, I'm going to leave it alone until I really need it. But so hopefully I'll pull that injector out and I'll see a nice clean nozzle too that I can work with. Alright, well I got the valves and cylinder head cleaned up on the Witte. Oh, here's the intake valve. That cleaned up real nice. This is the one that fits so well. I think it's, not the original, but a replacement. The stem is perfect. Virtually no wear. The seat, the face is in good shape. A little bit of pitting right there, but nothing that won't clean up with a grind, a lap in there, lap it in. That stuff right there is just pretty much just staining, rust staining, not even pitting. So that'll clean up very nicely. The exhaust valve is going to need a grind. Let's show you the. You can see with a straight edge on it there. The seat is, or the face, kind of has like a little depression right there. It's kind of concave shaped where it's worn right here. So that'll need a grind, and the seat will need to be cut too. But I can always go over at my buddy 805 Road King's house and borrow his valve seat cutter, and I'll grind the valve here. This is my old Van Norman valve grinder. So I'm going to clean this valve face up real quick. See, it's adjustable. The valve seat angle, 30 through 60 degrees. 45 is what most of these old engines are, and including the Witte diesel. So we'll take care of that. Alrighty, well I got the valves cleaned up. This is the exhaust valve for the Witte. Had the face was a little bit worn on it, so I threw it in the valve grinder here and just trued it up. Got it looking pretty nice. Ready to be lapped back in, but first I think I'll have to. I'm going to cut the exhaust valve seat. My good buddy 805 Road King's got a valve seat cutter. I'll borrow that from him. The intake valve. The seat's in good shape. Or the face. The face of the valve is in good shape. But it should be all right. I'm not going to worry about grinding that or cutting the seat. I'll just lap them back in. But yeah, so that's it for now.